morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this video from. My name is AyoT and this is EaglesTracker, the home of Nigerian football. Today, I have a very special guest with me. Please introduce yourself to us.
My name is Ayo Obileye, Ayomide Stephen Obileye. I'm a footballer at Livingston Football Club, Scotland Premier League. 27 years old, and I'm a centre-back. I can also play central defensive midfield.
Thank you for joining us, Ayomide Obileye. So where are you from in Nigeria? Exactly.
From Ogun State.
Do you know where in Ogun State?
No, I don't know where exactly. I need to ask my mom. That's the only bad thing.
How often do you visit Nigeria? How many times have you been?
I haven't been many times. I've only been that one time, but I'm due to go back.
Where did you grow up and what got you into football? Just very quickly.
I grew up in London my whole life. I grew up in an area called Hackney. With me, my family always put me into just always playing football. I used to just play football at the back of my house every day until I was about, 16. There's always football for me. So been doing some training. I went on trials. I met a guy from my school who was a sports instructor who worked with us for behavioural issues in our school. So he put me through with a guy called Lester Thomas who used to work, he's as a Chelsea scout. And I used to train with him every 3 times a week. He managed to get me into Chelsea as I played for Chelsea when I was 16. So he got me a trial there. They signed me after a couple of weeks. But as you know, how Chelsea is, they love to bring players in. They ended up signing a very good player who's playing for Man City now, that's Nathan Aki. He ended up signing the time I come there. So obviously the space, at the time, I couldn't get myself a scholarship. I felt that I could still play professionally, so I didn't give up my dream. I always wanted to be a professional footballer. I ended up going to Sheffield Wednesday, ended up going up, leaving home, left home at 16. And then from there, it kind of really kicked on. In my first 2 months, I ended up playing in the first team on Sky Sports, playing the whole game, started the whole game. So drew the game 0-0, went to penalties, but ended up losing on penalties. But that was Gary Megson who gave me my debut. So at an early stage, I started late because I wasn't in an academy, but at an early stage, I ended up playing first team football. So ended up building my way through there. I was at Sheffield Wednesday, ended up getting a pro. And I was there for 3 years till I was 19. And I felt like I could be more involved with the first team. So I needed to venture out to a new place and I ended up leaving. When I ended up leaving that place, I had a very bad time. I wasn't within the club for a good 4 or 5 months. So I had to learn the hard way. And then I ended up signing at Charlton for further 2 years. And then within a month, I went on loan into the League Two of England. So I was like 19, 20 playing in League Two. I ended up playing 50 games over the course of 2 seasons in League Two on loan.
As a young boy going through all of that, how do you even keep yourself sane? How do you keep yourself motivated?
To be fair to me, it was always my heart desire because where I'm from, where we grew up, we're in a tough upbringing, you know what I mean? Like the area and stuff. And the way my brothers, they all grew up, they left a mark in this area and in my family where we work hard kind of thing. So I couldn't be that one in my family to be the one that's
Plus,
the one that gave up.
When you add that Niger blood inside,
the Niger blood is in us, to just grind and work. So I just kept going. I just kept working hard. Obviously, I pray every day. I go to church with my mom. I go to church with my mom when I was younger. I just keep working hard, and I just know God will give me my time, give me my blessing soon. So
when you were a young boy, 9, 10, 11 years old, who were the players that you looked up to, that you tried to model your game after? Who were those people that were your heroes back then?
It was funny because when I was younger, I was playing striker. I was playing up front. So I used to love R9, Thierry Henry, these players, Ronaldinho. I used to even like Zidane. Zidane's one of my favorite players. So these are the players I look up to when I was younger. But as a defender, these players I look up to. I even like Joseph Yobo. I like him. I look up to him. John Terry, Rio Ferdinand. These are the kind of players I look up to and I try to follow my trait through.
How did you make that switch from R9 to becoming, AyoT?
It was just a thing that I used to love scoring goals. That's why the trait of me scoring goals doesn't go, As a defender, I still get my fair amount of goals. I just used to score a lot of goals when I was younger and I thought, this would be me, etc. But as I got older, I got taller, I got bigger, I wasn't as quick. So when I was training also with Lester Thomas, he said, you'll become a perfect centre-back. You remind me of players like Rio Ferdinand, etc. They were players that started striker and now come down back in the team to go to centre-back. So it's crazy.
A lot of fans, especially Nigerian fans, I will say, they tend to have this mindset of, he's not in the Premier League, he's not a good player, it doesn't matter. What would you say it was like for you playing in these other divisions in England?
They might not be playing in the top league, but doesn't mean they're not good. Like, there's a lot of good players that play in the lower league. And obviously me, myself, I've come from playing in teams that nobody has probably heard of ever in their life before. But obviously there's money in the lower leagues also. So that's why some players like to go down into the lower leagues, collect their money. And some players there, they might be playing in the lower leagues because the teams in the top league, they're not playing. They might play for them, but what's playing for Arsenal? You don't play any games. What's the point?
What is football like in the Scottish League?
To be fair, it's my first season in the Scottish Premier League, but it's a very good level. I would balance it between top championship to lower end Premier League like that. You have teams like Celtic, Rangers. Them teams can maybe play in the Prem. Doesn't mean they're gonna be the top 10, but they can easily play in the Prem.
They got the Europa League.
They got to Europa League finals. It's even right. They beat big teams. So, but playing in the Scottish Premier League is very good. It's different. The weather's different. It's cold. They like players with a lot of intensity. They like a lot of aggression. The level is really good. I would say the level was really good.
What would you say was your highest point this season?
Like, I would say probably my man of the match performance against Celtic at home when we won 1-0. That would probably be a highlight for me, I would say. But also a highlight was me. That was
I see. That was in September, I think. Yeah.
September, I think it was.
Obileye with a commanding header out.
Is there any moments that you look back on and you're like, not necessarily regret, but maybe you take it as a very big lesson that you learned in that moment? Yeah.
I would say maybe when I was younger, when I was playing at Sheffield, I'd feel like to be less naive in situations where I might not be playing or I might not be training with the first team, and I feel like, but I can train with the first team. I'm frustrating myself. I'm beating myself up. And also, maybe when I went to the Nigeria camp, I was there in the Nigeria camp, but I ended up going back to Charlton. But I was thinking about, obviously, the club situation at the time. So I ended up going back. I didn't know that I was going to leave at the time. If I knew I was going to leave at the time, or even if I didn't know I was going to leave, I should have still carried and stayed and cherished the moment that I had there at the time.
Okay, so what's your favorite Nigerian food to eat? What do you like to eat?
I've been going through food, different types. I've been eating jollof rice, fried rice, but I've been eating a bar with a goosey soup. But I think it's amala now that I'm really liking that.
And I want to talk about the national team. You mentioned when you were speaking earlier that one time you were involved in Nigerian camp when you were much younger. Has there been any talk? Has there been any consideration? Have you heard anything about, now that you're much older, playing for the first team?
I haven't had any interest yet. Obviously, there's been talks with my family saying that they've been trying to, see if they can get me out there or whatever through the club, but there hasn't been any strong interest at the moment. But I do believe it will come soon. I feel like I can play, I can show my ability and give my heart for the Nigerian people.
So the first one we're going to do is just quick fire questions. I'm going to just throw something at you. Let me know what you think. Yeah. Who's your favorite player of all time?
Zidane.
Who's your favorite Nigerian player of all time?
Okocha.
Who's your favorite head coach of all time?
Alex Ferguson.
Do you have any superstitions before a game?
I read a Bible verse. I kiss my surname on the back of my shirt.
Okay, nice. Rice or swallow?
Swallow.
Nike or Adidas?
Nike.
Are you under contract?
I wear Nike. No, I'm not. I wear Nike every day.
Casual clothes or traditional clothes?
Depending on the occasion.
Champions League or AFCON?
AFCON. I want to represent my country.
Okay, finally, Messi or Ronaldo?
Oof, Ronaldo.
Would you rather be the best player on the worst team in your league or the worst player on the best team in the league?
That's a tough one. I'd say the worst player and the best team in the league. Actually, I'd take that back. I'd say the best player in the worst team.
The best player in the worst team. Would you rather don't play football for an entire year or you play every game and lose every game for a year?
I'll play every game. I love football too much. Even now, I haven't played for 2 weeks. I'm dying.
Just before I let you go, if there's any Nigerian fan, watching this video who maybe hasn't heard of you before, seeing you for the first time, hearing you speak for the first time, what's your message to them?
I would say, my name's obviously Ayomide Obileye. I'm from London, but I love my Nigerian culture, my Nigerian roots. I want to give my best and show my best to you all. And you, the ones that are all playing and playing in the leagues in Nigeria, continue to work hard, continue to give it your all. God will continue to bless you and your time will come. Also, never give up, because that's what we do. We don't give up.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ayo. Yeah. And thank you, everyone, for watching.
Thank you again.
Video.
Thank you, too.